in an absolutely wild day of Call of Duty that started with a 3-0 victory for the LA Thieves over the London Royal Ravens squad that had looking much better as of late, and a day that ended with a 3-2 round 11 clutch from the New York Subliners to get a victory over the Atlanta FaZe. We also had two very unpredictable 3-0 victories by OpTic Chicago, and one of those was a round 11 search and destroy clutch from Dashy that was absolutely unbelievable. We're going to go ahead and we're going to break down that round in just a moment, but before we do so, I want to make sure that we're touching a little bit more on those two OpTic matches that happened beforehand. So the first one was this matchup against the Dallas Empire. All of these stats that you'll be seeing is from breakingpoint.gg. But in this one, I think that the player that really set the tone on this Saturday for OpTic Chicago was Dashy, and that is ever so apparent when you're looking at these stats here. In this matchup against the Dallas Empire, Dashy was 71 and 33 for a KD of 2.15. That is not only astronomical, but that is unbelievable. And then when you look down underneath for Dallas, Illy had a 0.5, Shotzzy had a 0.79. There's just nobody from Dallas really put it together. And in this was a 250 to 151 hardpoint victory on map 1, where you saw Dashy go 35 and 13. The S&D did end up going to round 11, so this was a little bit closer than the 3-1 control victory, which, oh, by the way, Dashy had a 2.07 going 29 and 14. The dude was absolutely on fire. Now, he did cool off a little bit as it went into that Florida matchup, as you can see here, but it was still another 3-0 victory. And of course, if you're matched up against players like Skies and Awakening at those AR positions, those guys are phenomenal. So you're probably not going to continue to put up those same stats, but give it to OpTic. They had been looking really down the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they showed up. And as you see in this one, they got the map 1 victory, 250 to 139. They were on like a 6-map hardpoint losing streak, and they were able to put it together in back-to-back matches here in a way that we haven't seen in quite a while. They clutched up to win that S&D on raid. Dashy had a 1.67 that round 11 we're going to watch in just a moment. And then when you look at the checkmate control, everybody basically just showed up, and not really anybody except for Havoc from Florida showed up in that third map, which ended up leading to 2 3-0 victories on the day for OpTic Chicago. And what can you say? They just played phenomenal Call of Duty from start to finish, and you have to give them credit where credit is due. But with that, I want to go ahead and I want to break down this round 11. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's switch on over to this scene. And as you're taking a peek at this, you can see that OpTic is on offense. And as we go ahead and press play, they're going to go ahead and they're going to start taking this bomb over towards the B side of the map, and they're going to get pretty aggressive. So let's go ahead and just real quick, let's pause this. And as you're watching this here and looking at the minimap, you can see that they're not messing around, right? They sent Envoy and Scump, as you can see right here as the 7 and 8 arrows. They spawned here and immediately ran through ramp, got to bottom ring, and there was no stopping them whatsoever. A lot of times you'll see teams maybe push this side, but hold off when they get to white van, or maybe go bottom art, right? Take one of these routes and just be a little bit patient. And what they'll do is they'll look for a push here, or they'll look for a push through blinders over here. And they said, you know what? That is not what we're going to do here. We're going to get control of this site. And at the beginning, it doesn't really pay off for them very much. Let's go ahead, let's press play, and you guys will be able to see this. But as we go ahead and look at this, Awakening and Neptune are here. And by the way, as we go ahead and look at this mini map, you can see that Florida got that information from Awakening, and now the rest of those green arrows are pushing the bottom side of the map. So I like the fact that Florida said, you know what, they're hitting this lane and they're hitting it very quickly. So let's go ahead and let's make sure that we're countering and we're also being aggressive. So I do like the play call from them to go ahead and counter that. As we hop on board with Scump, you're going to see him climb up over here towards top art, and there are going to be 2 kills that come in. So right there is the first kill on Envoy. And again, you have to give Envoy credit also, because he said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to be aggressive, I'm going to hit bottom laundry, I'm going to try to take somebody by surprise, but they were ready for it. And then as this round plays on, Awakening also gets that kill on Scump. So it's great when Envoy and Scump are aggressive and they say, you know what, we're going to hit laundry, we're going to go for it. But it's not the best when it doesn't work out. And if we look at the mini map, this is going to go ahead and it's going to put Dashy in a tricky situation. So if we look at where he's at right here, he is basically on the bomb, and he does have the bomb, but where he's at, he knows that there are multiple Florida players right in front of him. And in just a minute, if we look at the mini map, you can see that there is also a player, Havoc, that's going to try to counter this and hit mid. So if you're Dashy, you have to watch the push from mid, and there are 3 players directly in front of you. So things by far do not get easier as this goes on. Let's go ahead. Let's press play. That was a really important pick. So Neptune just goes to peek very briefly. As soon as he does, Dashy is able to get it from a 2v4 to a 2v3. And again, that's super important. I like the fact that Dashy immediately turns around and looks behind him. But as we go ahead and let this play out right there, he shoulder peeks mid-map and he sees Havoc. So again, if we're playing for information, right now he knows that Havoc is mid steps, so he has one person behind him looking mid, which he can take that information and he can relay that to Formal. If we look at the minimap, you can tell right from this number 5 arrow that Formal is right here. He got that information. He is looking mid. So that is already being countered. That information is already through, and he knows from Envoy and Scump dying that the other players from Florida are here towards bottom laundry. So as we go ahead and go back, there's going to be just a super important gun battle that happens pretty quickly here. So it's going to take a little while to develop. I'm a little bit surprised that Formal pushed like he did. I think what they were figuring is they know that Havoc is mid-map. So right here, it's a 2v2, right? If we go ahead and we go back just 5 seconds here, again, they saw Havoc mid-map. They know it's a 2v2 over here towards laundry. We need to go ahead and try to win that gun battle towards laundry. And again, we'll hit play again right here. Formal hits the outside of the map. Unfortunately, right here, he gets gunned. So Skies is able to get that kill, which puts Dashy in a 1v3, but Formal gave him the information that Skies and Awakening are right here in front of him. So Dashy goes ahead. He has the 74U that he picked up from either Envoy or Scump dying. I think it was Scump that died right in that particular spot. And they're going to double challenge. And this is the right move, right? This is the correct move. If you're Awakening in Skies, you know exactly where he's at. And you know that even if you both die, you have a 1v1 with Havoc. But they make the decision, let's just go ahead and let's double push this. So normally you'll see like an SMG hit low and you'll see an AR hit above them. So it's kind of like a multi-tiered attack here. But as Awakening comes out, Dashy gets that immediate first kill on Awakening. And unfortunately for Florida, as Awakening was almost dead, he went back towards that wall, which essentially just took Dashy's iron sight on this 74U and lined it right up with Skies. So as we go ahead and press play, he gets both of those kills on Awakening and Skies. And now all of a sudden, he is in a 1v1 situation. Map number 2, round 11. And as we're watching this play out, I like the fact that he's taking his time. You can see here just from what he's watching on screen, you saw him go top laundry, look mid, look down towards bottom ring. He's looking back laundry now. He doesn't have any idea where Havoc is at. And if you look top mid, there are 30 seconds left. So he doesn't have a ton of time to work with here. But as we press play and we watch this play out, I like the fact that he's looking here. He doesn't see anybody. And rather than push towards B, where they probably know where he's going to be going or suspect he's going to be going, he goes ahead and he hits P2 over towards money. And he decides to plant towards A. And I think this was a really smart decision because if you're Havoc, you have to figure he only had 30 seconds left. He's probably going to go plant over towards B, and he does the opposite. So it's a great job of getting the bomb down. And at this point in time, you're just and by the way, I like the fact that Dashy is just checking all of his lines of sight, right? He's not sitting on a heady. He's not just focused in one direction. You saw him look mid, look money, look basketball, go back to Tiki, look top apartments, look mid, look money, look cutout, look back towards P4 basketball. He keeps going from one to another rather than, you know what, I'm going to laser focus on this one line of sight. It's a great way to play this, and he just continues to do it, right? He's checking behind him, checking up top, looking over towards apartments, looking back towards P4, and in just a moment right there, he peeks the bomb. He gets the viewpoint on Havoc. He's able to finish the kill. And right here, look at these reactions. You see Scump absolutely going off. You see Dashy. Formal's even standing up. I mean, Formal's absolutely hype. Envoy's going off. Dashy's out of there. It's a phenomenal play all around. You needed in a time like this where OpTic has been struggling the last 2 or 3 weeks. They have not been playing well. They needed a play where they could come through and rally behind and use that as momentum going into Championship Sunday. And with the way they're playing just right now today, they're probably a squad that you don't feel comfortable messing with as it goes into Championship Sunday. But it is Championship Sunday, and there are still some really big teams left when it comes to who's left in the tournament. So we'll see how they fare tomorrow, but right now they look much better and they look pretty hot. So if you're new around here, you enjoy these sort of breakdowns, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you don't mind, as it helps out the channel. And with that, enjoy Championship Sunday. We'll be here to break it down on Monday from the start to the finish. We will see you in that upload.